Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple, but it's worth it in the end because once you get there, you can move mountains. Steve Jobs. My friends, that is our job here, is to keep our training as simple as possible, but not simpler, to paraphrase Einstein. Let's jump into these charts. We see stocks and bonds up for the day, gold and Bitcoin down. Let's start first with the S&P 500. The blue line you see on the screen is the weekly trend line. We just have that superimposed over all these charts so you can see where the weekly chart is. What do we see happening? Well, of course, we see moves continuing to track up the weekly trend line. Of course, we had our latest trade that ended in the afternoon on Wednesday, the 1st of February. That was a successful up 2 times the average true range and out, went up a little farther. Then, of course, down, and now starting to track up a little bit again. We will see if the STC, our indicator, goes back over to green. We look at where we are as far as the 200 EMA. We are above that, so we're in an uptrend on this half-day chart. 2-day chart, we have pushed above the 200 EMA, and you can see how we're tracking sideways toward the weekly, but still above it. Green on the STC, so we have +4 on the success multiplier formula. And of course, we are still green on the STC on this weekly chart. You can see how we see price movement moving right up. Now, we are still below where we were 2 weeks ago for the high, but we do have a green up candle. We'll see how that continues to move up for the day, 1.17%. So again, things are looking all right so far. That is where we are on the everything, the 2-day, half-day, and the weekly, waiting for this half-day chart to cross over to green to give us an opportunity to jump into a practice trade. Let's look at where we are on the Qs. We can see that it also is red, has crossed through this center area between these 2 lines to reset the STC for us. Up for the day, 1.60% above that 200, well, above the 200 EMA and the weekly trend line. We look at where we are on the 2-day. We can see where the 2-day looks to be bouncing off the 200 EMA. The way we see the first day of this latest 2-day candle is a red spinning top after a green one, so indecision tending down. We'll see where that takes us. That's just the 2-day chart, and it's still green on the STC. The weekly, it is green also, like the S&P 500. We have not reached the high that we reached 2 weeks ago, so we'll see where this leads us. But again, hoping to see things boom on price. They may or may not. If they do, we'll be ready to go. What's up with 20-year bonds? Well, we can see they were up for the day, 0.84%. Down in the morning, some indecision. Up some in the afternoon, below the 200 EMA in a downtrend. On that weekly chart, you can see from the weekly trend line below it, red on the STC, so we'll see how things continue to move. What about the 2-day? Well, it is just now dropping over, going down, so that is adding to some of that potential down pressure. Of course, we're well below the 200 EMA. I have to really jack it in for you to see it. Bonds went down for quite a while, and seesawing back and forth, up and down. Maybe we're going to come back down and test this bottom that we hit back on December 30. Maybe it'll go lower. We'll wait, watch, and see what's up with the weekly. Of course, starting the week off now with another down move on the, let's just adjust that trend line to make sure it's set right. Another down candle forming, even though it was an up day. Heikin-Ashi candlesticks are, of course, calculated differently. If you haven't taken our training on Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, I encourage you to do so. They help take out a lot of the noise. They are calculated differently between the high, low, open, close. Typical Heikin-Ashi candlestick is calculated on the opening of the candlestick is the previous low, the previous open and close divided by 2. The close on the Heikin-Ashi candlestick are all 4 readings from the day, the high, open, low, close. That is what you have for the close of the Heikin-Ashi candlestick. It then tracks the high for the day and the low for the day. So what it does is that it smooths those numbers to help us more visually be attuned to where price movement is. And of course, overall, we're seeing things moving lower. Haven't reached the low this week of the prior week because it was an up day. So we'll continue to watch, wait and see how things move on this chart when it comes to 20-year bonds. And when I say chart, all three of them, the 2-day, the half-day, and the weekly. Whew. Okay, let's keep going. Where are we on gold? Gold is down for the day, 0.51%, continuing to move down. It is above the 200 EMA. It is red on the STC, continues to be red. We look at where we are on gold when it comes to the 2-day chart, above the 200 EMA, heading down, red on the STC. Lots of red there on gold. We look at where things are on the weekly. And of course, we had a red spinning top with lots of movement up and down after it reached, well, it actually reached a high that week, but also, going lower than it had over the prior 2 weeks. And that red spinning top showed us lots of indecision, dying of that up move. And now this week heading down to a lower low, starting the week off than the prior week and the week before that, and the week before that and the week before that. So again, gold moving down again, we don't know how long it's going to go down, but we'll continue to track it and see. But we can see that gold is red on the half day, on the 2-day, still green on the weekly. We'll see how much longer that goes and if we'll clear the 200 EMA. Lastly, we'll go to Bitcoin. Let's check it out first on this half-day chart. And you can see how Bitcoin reached its most recent high back on the 2nd of February. And we see where things went red as it crossed over, which is good to see this resetting, moving down to the bottom. And Bitcoin's been going down since then, down for the day 0.34%. Look at the 2-day. It has not reset yet. We'll see when that happens. But again, down as Bitcoin goes. Looks like it's increasing that momentum. And we look at the weekly chart. And of course, we have set the 2-day trend line based. We've used the 2-day trend line to set the weekly at this point because it's really hard to have anything worthwhile when it's almost flat. So as soon as we get the ability to set a better trend line, we will do so on the weekly. Still green on the STC, waiting for that to reset also. We're seeing how the half day has reset nicely with this latest move. I want to wait, watch, and see for the 2-day to reset with a good down move. The same with the weekly so that we can start using the STC again for practice trades. That's where we are, folks, as we end the day on Monday. Always love for you to be with us. We'd love to hear from you. Don't hesitate to reach out to us, cw@chartingwealth.com. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.